Welcome back to the Actual Proper Podcast, otherwise known as App, with Mysterious Person Number 1 and Twila, as named per last episode.
I'm pretty sure you've already revealed yourself.
Oh yeah,
100%. I think I have.
Episode 1 description for sure says their whole names. So not much of a mystery, but yeah. So last episode, we talked about different things like Roll Up the Rim, because it was just happening, as well as the lead up to like Valentine's Day, stuff like that. But now it's Roll Up the Rim's been here a little while. Valentine's Day's come and gone. But as I'm holding this double right now, shout out Tim Hortons, please sponsor. Yeah, this is another Roll Up the Rim one, and I sincerely hope that I'm winning one of those Jeeps.
But you don't actually win it.
Yeah, so this is something I didn't even know. Like, I thought you just outright won the car, but like as you explain, that's like not actually what happens.
I'm pretty sure you don't actually win the car. You win the lease for a year, which means you only really have it for a year, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, unless, of course, I'm wrong, right. which is also possible. I'm usually wrong about things sometimes.
Yeah, but there's something that's been going on. Like, I don't know if it's changed from last year, but there has been so many Please Try Agains, like no one winning anything this time around in Roll Up the Rim. I'm like 3 for 3 Please Try Agains right now.
Oh no! Yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, if
time.
you won something.
No, and like our coworker, bless her soul, is like 5 for 5 with Please Try Agains. Yeah, and then I was actually like on the radio yesterday or on Friday and like made a post about it, and the amount of response, I think it was like 50 comments deep, and like it was really, really, really heavily skewed towards like not winning anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, they can only give out so much prizes though.
But
right?
I mean,
like it'll bankrupt them if they gave everyone a winning cup.
But here's the thing, like even if they made it like something really small, like you pay like $2.10 for a large double, like what, $1, like a donut, like $1, like they're still making profit there, just like not as much. If they like increase like the really smaller prizes, just for like people, like I think they would get a lot more people in that way. But also, I know nothing about business, so.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think I got really lucky while I was in university, but that was probably because like I just drank a lot of coffee from Tim's, but I remember just winning a bunch of things, like sometimes coffee, sometimes like donuts, a lot of donuts actually, and that's how I gained a bunch of my weight in university. It was just like donuts from Roll Up the Rim. It was a fun time.
I mean, like when there's Boston creams, like
yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's like the best thing ever.
Well, chocolate dips are the best, but let's agree to disagree.
Those are also pretty great, but anything with custard for me is great. But yeah, really hoping to win one of those Jeeps this time. Like,
so is this? Do you feel like this is the lucky cup right now? This double?
I honestly, I'm actually really looking forward to just rolling it up. But like the thing about the Jeeps is like, okay, like full confession, I'm a truck owner, and it's not like a small truck. It's like a fairly medium-sized truck, but it's got bigger tires than it's supposed to have, so it's hard to already maneuver, but like the tires make it so much worse. The turning radius is just crap. So like having a big truck for that reason, super inconvenient. Like parking lots in general in BC are just not made for trucks. In Alberta, there's like some give because just like everyone has a giant truck there because it's always winter and there's a lot of like rig people, but like BC, it's all just like nice cars. Well, that's not true in Campbell River, but like small cars because they don't have to deal with like the weather and stuff like that very often.
Yeah, I was just gonna say though that when I got here first, I was very surprised with how big parking lots were. Like the stalls, I mean, the slots for cars, just because like in Vancouver, they're really, really tiny and your SUV can barely fit into them. But then here, there's just like a lot of space.
That's definitely one of my biggest fears, and why I also have never been to Vancouver yet, is just because like I'm so scared to take my truck there that I'll just go there and I won't be able to get my truck out of the city. Like it'll just like rust there, and it'll be like 100 years into like the post-apocalyptic future. Like it'll be like one of those rust like things just in the middle of the road there.
Do you have that little faith in your own driving skills though? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's more other people's, because like they're used to Vancouver zinging around in their tiny cars, and then it's like me and my big truck, like already no room to maneuver and like having to account for other people and stuff. Like it's already bad enough here, and I know the city. Like sometimes here like in Campbell River, cars will just go through red lights Like, this, like, I've been stopped here long enough. It's time for my turn to go. I've seen that happen 3 times in the past year. 3 separate occasions.
Yeah, I almost actually got run over by someone actually driving a truck. I remember this was in the fall when I first got here. And it was my right of way. So the walking sign was on and I was going. And this lady, maybe this was just because I was short and she was in a big truck, but I was crossing and I was in the middle of this, just the crosswalk, and you can literally tell there is a person there, but she just kept on going, and she was making a left turn, and she was gonna turn into me, and I was just like, girlfriend, are you kidding me? So I stopped in the middle of the street, and I was just like, what are you gonna do now? Like, no, but she was just like
Twila versus a car. Why were you taking that battle?
Well, I mean, usually it works, but in this case, it did work. She didn't run me over, but I was kind of like fairly upset that, am I that unseeable? Is that what's going on here? But like, yeah, it was kind of wild, and I almost died that night.
Like, I have a incident pretty similar to yours, but in the opposite situation where I was the one driving the. Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh,
and it was like, so it was late coming back from like an event. Like it was probably like 9:30, 10, so pretty dark here already. And it was also like, it's always raining in this city, so like it was raining and dark, and I was like had to pull a left turn. And like the thing about this city is that there's like 2 people on the roads past 6 p.m. Like it's just such a dead city at nighttime. That, like, of course, like, I was the only one on the road, just driving, doing my thing, raining, dark out, and it's a left turn into the main road into my building. So I'm turning left, and, like, halfway through turning left, there's a pedestrian, like, in the middle that I didn't see, so I, like, slammed on the brakes, didn't hit her or anything. Like,
my gosh.
it was fine.
Was she upset?
I imagine so, but it was dark, and I kept on going. But, like, she was head to toe black, like, full length black coat, black toque on, like, black pants, like, like pedestrians like who wear completely like dark clothes like during night just like stress me out
for sure
because there's so many of them.
For sure.
And it's such a bad idea.
I wasn't wearing all dark clothing that night, but I was just like, man, why did you not look? Why that stressed me out, but I'm grateful to be alive today. It's been a good time.
Not to take it back right now, but back to like owning like a big truck and like driving around. Like that's why I want this Jeep. Like,
okay, fair enough.
To just like have the freedom of movement as well as like, you know, it's just so easy to put groceries in. Like I'm so suburban as a person that's all those groceries I can fit in the back. Yeah. The hatchback. Ooh, that sounds nice.
Wow.
The safety rating. Oh, I bet it's really like nice to cruise on. Good on gas. Oh baby.
That heated steering wheel though. Yes.
Oh, heated leather seats. I can only dream.
Wait, do you not have heated seats in your truck?
Oh, absolutely not. I wish. Going from heated seats to no heated seats, like it changed me a little bit. As I definitely realized at that point I took some things for granted, and like there's definitely people who have it harder than me. Like no heated seats, like they're just always cold. Yeah. See, that's what I was gonna say. Bluetooth like connect for your phone to like your car.
Yeah.
I've been on aux cord for like it's 2019. I'm still running a like 3-inch long aux cord.
You are missing out on a lot.
So difficult because I have to like have my phone in a very precarious place in my vehicle for it to reach.
Yeah.
And I think aux cords can definitely go the way of the dinosaur.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Come on, Bluetooth. Everyone should use Bluetooth.
So this is why you want to win Roll Up the Rim.
Yes, in short terms, yes. I need to win Roll. It's not a want, it's a need.
Tim Hortons, let Reece win.
I want heated seats and Bluetooth and a hatchback.
So you're willing to give up your beloved truck for a Jeep?
Oh, no, I'd definitely still keep it. It would just be like in the parking lot, you know, still paying insurance.
But what if the stipulations of this Roll Up the Rim is that you give up that previous truck? You know what I mean?
Ooh, I don't know if I could do that.
There are so many things in the fine print that like people just don't read. What if that's one of them?
What if you have to like trade in your new car?
What if you do?
Or trade in your used? I would cry, but I also wouldn't take it. I'd probably like give it away. Because I love my truck so much, and for like a year-long lease on a Jeep Compass, if it was like a Jeep Wrangler or something, like an actual Jeep instead of a Jeep Compass, then I think I would.
But is a Wrangler safe?
Oh,
Is it easy to put groceries?
Oh, it definitely isn't. Also, like driving highway speeds is miserable, but like it's
You still want that over the compass.
The image
Okay.
is just kind of cool, you know?
But speaking of groceries, what about that post Valentine's chocolate discount?
Ooh, okay. Like I am pretty sure, like it's pretty obvious that like Big Chocolate has like tuned into the fact that like everyone buys their chocolate not like before Valentine's Day, but like
But
the day
after,
after
yeah.
when it's on sale. Yeah. So then they just like change the sale prices to just be like the regular prices. Like
Oh,
it says it's on sale, but it's actually
yeah.
not. Like that's my like chocolate conspiracy. Like it's definitely not like 50% off even. Like it's like barely on sale in a lot of places.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. But it's also, I think that's true for big box grocery stores. Do you know what I mean? Like, or I guess just chains like Shoppers or maybe like London Drugs where things don't really go on sale.
Oh, for
Does
sure.
that make sense?
For sure,
Like,
for sure.
Even at, I don't know, like just popular grocery store chains, like they're not really on sale. They're just, like you said, it's just the regular price that they put them on.
Just like added sales cards and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. But chocolate at the dollar store, though, it's always so
I'm
much
so
cheaper.
scared of that chocolate. Like I don't
No,
know.
no, no,
like
no,
it
no,
could be.
brand
It could
name-
be.
no,
Yeah,
no,
no,
brand
no,
name
that's what I was gonna say.
chocolate.
It could be brand name, but I'm still so cautious of it.
Why?
I don't know. I just like it. Just like that stipulation. Like
Are you a storist?
storist? I mean,
Dollar storist?
I pretty exclusively shop at Superstore for like most things.
Yeah, see,
but
that
like
gets
Save On is
expensive.
also like
That
that's my
gets
bougie
expensive.
store, grocery store for sure. When I want a good shopping experience,
You know what a good
Save
shopping
On.
experience is?
Uh-huh.
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods. Do we have any in Canada?
Yes, we do.
Huh.
Vancouver's like
Never
chock full of
been,
Whole
but I know
Foods.
it's crazy expensive.
No, it's not.
Also, it's organic and like
Yum.
gotta support local farms. You know, not a whole lot of organic farms in Canada.
Go get that tempeh, you know? Organic tempeh? No? Okay. I'm hearing crickets right now.
I have no idea what tempeh is. I'm trying to like go back in my mind like tempeh. I know like she's brought that up before. What is it?
Yeah,
What is
it's
it? Tempeh
really
sounds
good.
like
It's like a soy-based kind of like situation, and it's just really yummy, you know? It's good for
soy-based
salad.
situation.
It's really hard
Is
to
it like
explain.
solid? Is it like a
Yeah,
soup?
it's
is
kind of
it?
no. Well, I mean, you could put it in soup if you want.
Uh-huh.
Wait, why are we talking about tempeh?
I don't know. That got so off track so fast. So back on track.
Okay.
Family Day's coming up. That is tomorrow. You have a pretty hot take on Family
No,
Day.
I do not. Okay, what? Okay, what do you feel about family?
Family Day is great. It's just like one of the most wholesome holidays ever. It's like the government like telling businesses like, "Yo, hold up, like people need a day for their family." Because like especially in like 2019, like people are so busy with work and projects and just their own personal lives that I think a day of just like you can't go to work, you're not going to school, like, and there's so many like government events or just like events for the communities. Going on, as well as like discounts on public transportation, so it's accessible for a lot of people. I think it's like such a wholesome holiday.
I mean, I guess that's great, but I don't need some higher power or authority telling me to take time off work and spend time with your family. Okay, what kind of like?
I 100% think that those people who like think that the government's telling them that, like mandating it, are the people who are not going to be going out anyway and like actually like with their family. They're just
Okay,
gonna like
so maybe
stay
that's
home
me.
and like just do weekend stuff.
I'm just like a miserable old sod, just like staying at home, doing nothing. To be fair, I did not know about the discounted prices on transit. So that's that. I had no idea about that. But no, I don't know. I just think that if you really wanted to spend time with your family, you will always make a way. Like, again, if there's a will, there's a way, you know? And so I don't need a holiday for that, you know? Like, I will, again, if I wanted to spend time with my kids, I will take that time off work, even if it's paid leave or not. I will take that time off to be with them and, you know, like, just work around like school schedules and things like that because
For sure, family above
right,
work
exactly.
and school for sure.
yeah, I mean, to be fair, Family Day does make that convenient and it's a lot easier, especially if there's a lot of motivation to be like, hey, the community center is open for an extended period of time. There are a lot of free activities, you know, so that is definitely, that's fun and that makes it convenient. But again, I don't need, spending time with my family should not have to be like, I'll spend time with them if I want.
Yeah, of your own accord.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Whether it be inconvenient or not. And in fact, if you love someone anyway, why would it be an
make the effort.
inconvenience?
Yeah. You put in the effort, and it wouldn't really be inconvenient. For
Right,
sure.
exactly. So that's why I feel like Family Day. I mean, it's not like I hate it. I don't hate it.
That paid time off.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I hate more than
time
paid
off.
time off. Yeah.
No, it's not that. It's not that I hate it. Like I said, it's just that it's not. I don't think it's necessary if you really wanted to spend that time with your family or by yourself, right? I mean, if you really wanted to just take some time off, you'll take a lieu day, right? Like,
I mean, maybe some people out there like them themselves are their only family. That's pretty deep.
that is very deep.
They just want to spend it by themselves.
That too,
Yeah.
and that's totally fine, right? But you know, you can do that whenever.
So tomorrow, are you gonna be staying home and watching any movies?
Like I said, I'll just be an old sod. No, actually,
Any specifically Marvel or superhero movies? We were
So-
talking about this earlier.
yes.
Also, you like really haven't seen any, and that's just like all those references that I like need to get
Exactly.
out.
I mean, I haven't seen. I was gonna say Captain America: Cold War, but that's not it. You
Oof.
see how out
Oof.
of date and
Oof.
out of touch I am with like pop culture. But no, Civil War. I've not seen that. I've not seen I guess like the first two Thor movies, or just like the first movie. I don't know which one I've seen. Like I think I've seen Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And then like Infinity War, right?
Oh,
I've-
Infinity War is definitely the one that you have to see after all of those movies.
Oh, I haven't seen Age of Ultron. Wait, have I? I don't know. Like it's because there's so
That's
many.
true.
There's so many movies that have come out lately, and just it's really hard to keep up and just kind of like follow along, you know, because especially if you're not. I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I'm like a casual viewer, a casual fan, you know. But the only thing that I really truly follow religiously, I'd say, is really just Star Wars. And even then, I'm not the hugest stan because like I didn't even
just
watch
saw
Clone
like
Wars.
Solo last night too.
Yeah, and so like it's so recent for me, you know, but like that's the only one that I like. Star Wars is the only, I guess, like franchise that I've really been following, and so like, you know, I'm anticipating like episode 9, for example, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like with Marvel movies, because there's so many of them and it's such a huge universe and like everything is interconnected, it's so like you have to be really invested in it. Like I mean, I've never
Exactly.
even seen Spider-Man, like the new one, Homecoming.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen like what's the one, like the
Ant-Man?
Yeah, I've not seen that one. So
One
like,
or two.
neither.
Yeah, either. But like you just said, like they are so interconnected, and a lot of, I think, casual viewers get kind of deterred because even like there'll be superheroes in their own titles, like Iron Man 1, 2, 3, but then
Right.
also they all show up in different other Marvel movies, like even like Captain America Civil War. It wasn't necessarily a team up Avengers movie, but it did have all of them in it. So you kind of
Yeah.
had to see it to see more storylines of the characters you already followed. So that also bled out there. Thor Ragnarok had Doctor Strange in it.
Right, exactly.
And like it just all, and even the Hulk. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just all like it's just such a thick mess to people who aren't into it, which
Yeah.
to be fair, like it's such a mega popular thing. Like Disney owns it, and Disney owns everything that
Yeah.
like is supposed to be like on the top of everyone's mind. But
It's just I think
the
it's
fact
just a
that
lot
like
to keep up
it's
with.
exactly, if you don't know, then it feels like also you like you miss those references that people
That's
make.
what
You
I was
don't get
just
the
gonna say.
memes online.
Yeah,
like all,
I was
you
just
just
gonna say.
miss a lot, and then it can be a bit overwhelming. That
Right,
way.
exactly. Yeah, because that I know that for a fact that that's one of the joys of watching Star Wars, for example, is just like all these references and basically like Easter eggs, right? And I mean, especially now with the new kind of like the new episodes coming out, but also this new like anthology series they have going, like a Star Wars stories
yes.
kind of like thing. There are always like references, and I'm just like, oh, that's so cool. Like I remember that, and oh, that's where that comes from. And so I feel like it sort of fixes plot holes sometimes in the original like series, but also it's just like it's so cool because as someone who grew up on Star Wars, getting to see that stuff being like referred to and sort of like in the newer movies now, I'm just like, wow, that's so neat. So I understand that's also the joy of like Marvel movies and like just this whole MCU thing going on. So I really do want to get into it, but like it's just so much to get into, and just like it's so hard to follow sometimes, especially because a lot of this too is rooted in comics. And I mean, there's a lot of comics.
That's that's a whole nother ball game. Like as someone who like follows comics like religiously like I do, like I've been reading them for so many years. I own just a dumb amount, like also like in physical and online. Like I'm so studied up on everything from like the past 30 years of comics that like I appreciate so much that comics are now thought of in a new spotlight, because they're not like nerdy as they used to be, or like people like liked comics were kind of like the more nerds or like dorks or something like that. But now it's kind of like more normal for like that's what so like the MCU brought them up. Now? Exactly, like it's kind of dorkable like in comics now, which is like I appreciate very much. But like also it's like 30 plus years of like lore and just like
that's
everything that like you know essentially, and that like you really like that you see. That's some things I don't like about the MCU is that they take a lot of liberties, which makes it very digestible for a casual viewer like yourself. But for like someone who's like grown up with this and like it's so like indebted into like my brain, like this is how it should be and this is how it is, to see it change like on the screen, like how most people know it as one way, and then I know it like it's been like that way for 30 years, but then all of a sudden it's different, and it is like a little bit irritating, but for the most part I'm just appreciate that it's more out there in the spotlight.
Right. Well, I mean, that's also the thing, right? Because every time a piece of literature is adapted into a movie or whatever, it's always different, for sure. It's always going to be different. And so like
for sure, they take a lot of like something like the comparisons between like fans will be like the books are like so totally different from the movies, but like I'm sorry, Harry Potter fans. Like I read, like it's pretty minute differences. Like the comics are like a whole so different. Like they use the same character names sometimes, but other than that, everything about it is different. Like it's entirely different property almost, which is pretty crazy. So like, going back into like the back end of like some people are kind of hesitant. They don't want to watch the movies because they haven't read the comics books or they don't know the past. They do it so well in writing the scripts as well as the directors that they feed you the information that you do need to know, and they changed it so it's a lot more accessible. But also, I remember the first time like I picked up my first comic book, and that's exactly what I felt was like there is just so much history and just so like incomprehensible amounts of like comics to go through and like histories to discover that it's such a hard jumping in point, which it's very, very intimidating. And it was for me too, but as soon as you start jumping in, it gets so much easier. Like you start with one title, they make it very digestible in the two in comic form where pretty much every issue almost, especially every volume if you're collecting like not like volume sets instead of individual comics, it very much guides you through it and has reminders like this is where it is right now.
Right, exactly.
So
I imagine.
You could kind of pick up a comic wherever it is in this series and you still know what's going on, because it will give you a like the writing that it does is it's really convenient, like recaps almost like very efficient, that for the most part you don't really recognize as you're a casual reader, but it is filling you up in like what's going on currently,
and I imagine
which
that
is really nice.
Obviously the lore will also, and just like the world building will obviously just suck you in.
Oh yeah.
So you obviously
beware.
Just like...
beware anyone, like you're gonna be dropping a lot of money.
Oof, money that I clearly do not have.
Yeah, it's sometimes not the cheapest, but that's actually what I'm really excited about with the new DC streaming service online, like VPN that brah. But it's so I enjoy that the fact that they're uploading a lot of their comics on the back end. So it's like, oh, like I just finished a show waiting for a new season, but there's so many comics on there for you to just like dive right into and go through. And a lot of them, granted, like the newer stuff, like DC Rebirth, which is like started just a couple years ago, and it's like rebooted the whole, well, like soft rebooted the whole mythos of DC. They kind of took what was existing in the New 52, which was a hard reboot,
I was just like,
and then
what-
they
what-
rolled
what
it
is
into
going
like
on?
what was going in the past. So they kind of combined two different universes. Not universes bad because they deal with parallel universes all the time, but so I'll just use the overarching term like mythos. So they roll both of those into one, which was so appreciated by fans because like everything that they knew growing up, this is how it was different in the New 52, and a lot of people didn't appreciate it, but when they rolled it in together, it blended for the most part pretty well. They got rid of the stuff that wasn't working, they introduced new stuff, and it was a much better experience for the fans. So this new stuff, they're kind of, it's like another jumping on point for fans. So they'll only release like one volume up on the DC streaming service of their new stuff, but like all their old stuff is still pretty good, and they're slowly updating with more and more titles, with more and more issues. And it's been really nice. Also, it's really accessible for people who don't want to necessarily invest in comic books or don't know where to start. It's right there for them, which is, I assume, very appealing to new fans.
Right. Well, this has been Comics 101 with
I
Reece.
can rant forever about comics.
Just like talk. That's me with skincare and like
Yeah.
makeup. I just like go on, and people are just like, okay, bye.
Yeah, it's not like there's just one face cream. It's like, oh, I use
Oh,
two.
there
Like
are
they both like they
many.
complement each other, and you can like mix
Obviously.
that.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
they just go so well together. They're like I don't want to say
Girlfriend,
symbiotic, but just
yes.
like, yeah.
Yes.
That's just one thing I picked up from you listening to you today.
Girlfriend, yes.
All right, that's been so long already. So sorry for that huge monologue.
It was
of
great. It was great. I think
comics
I think
and
I learned quite
history
a
little
few
bit.
things.
All right, and that's where we're gonna leave it. See you next week, though.
Thank you for listening to our ASMR podcast.
This is our AMSMR podcast.